All right, so here is seriously what happens with Mormons. So the elders go around, the missionaries, all this stuff. Again, they're not really elders. They win people to the Mormon church. Now, mind you, they don't win them to Christ. They win them to the church. But here's what happens. They want to put off, they appear religious. So, they say that there's a prophet that God sent and there's another testament and all this stuff. But they don't tell them about their weird beliefs. And they don't tell them about the true history of Joseph Smith and the church. They don't tell them about the violence. They don't tell them about Joseph Smith looking at 3 men in his church and saying, God said your wife ought to be my wife, and 2 of those men gave their wife to Joseph Smith. They don't tell them about the false prophecies. They don't tell them, again, about Kolob and about supernatural underwear and occultic temple ceremony, things on their garments and so forth. They don't tell them that. And so these poor, simple people that become Mormons, they think they're doing right. They think they're following a prophet of God. They think they are following some restored church. And so when you start to deal with those people, they don't know how to respond when you're saying the Mormon church is wrong and it's got a false gospel, because they trust and believe what these people have told them, and they're gullible people. And so when you start to expose the errors of Mormonism, it's simply they don't know how to respond because they think they're in God's church and doing what's right. It's very sad is what it is. If they were to be honest with people, they'd knock at the door and say, hi, I want you to know we believe in supernatural underwear, we believe in occultic symbols on our temple, and our prophet gave 53 false prophecies and 51 failed to come to pass. And by the way, he was a pervert who told 3 men in his church that God said your wife ought to be my wife. 2 of them gave him to Joseph Smith. We believe in a planet called Kolob, and we used to teach that God the Father had a physical relationship with Mary, and that's how Jesus was born. And we used to teach this, we used to teach that, we used to teach this. Listen, if they were to do that and be honest about Mormonism, people wouldn't be joining the church, but that's why they do it. Because they want people to join the church. They don't want to know about the oddball stuff, the weird stuff, the stuff that makes Scientology look normal. So that's what happens, though, very sadly. Gullible people think they're following God. When you try to expose it, they don't know how to deal with it, and they think you're the enemy. Have a blessed day.